Upsize your creativity with the all-new, all-smart Innovus NQ1700E, only from your friends at Brother. Demo one at your Brother dealer today.
Hello, Brother Sewing and Crafting family. I'm Angela Wolf, and we are at your side virtually today. Again, a super fun show for you today. May Flaum is joining us, and let's just say ScanNCut and some really cool ornaments. So I see you all rolling in. I know many of you, I got an email last week that many of you are just catching on to the show. So we are live streaming on Brother Sewing and Brother Crafting Facebook and YouTube channels. We can see all of your comments and questions. So be sure to say hi, say where you're from. You never know, your neighbor might be crafting next to you, sewing, or even fishing. So I see you all rolling in. Welcome to the party, and let's bring May up. Wait till you see her backdrop today. May.
Hey guys. I know anyone who missed last month who's a regular is going to go, wait, why is there an interesting backdrop? Because we film from the studio now. Yay!
So excited, and it looks fabulous. All the colors. Oh my goodness. Love it, love it, love it.
Yeah, this is a fun place, and this time of year it gets really fun because I'm one to do, if I want to do any holiday crafting, I try to get it all done in November so that I can relax and enjoy my December and not be stressed about, you know, we need to get this done by this day or I have to ship this. So it brings, that way I can really just kind of relax in here and enjoy creating all kinds of different holiday stuff. And today that's exactly what we're going to do.
May, I'm going to come over here and I want you to rub off on me because I need to get some of this done in November. I say it every year and I never make it, although I'm working on my tops this year, but I need to get rolling on the gifts. So I'm going to just keep rubbing. Maybe you'll give me some of that.
It just goes so fast. And I know I was looking at the calendar and there's the next week of school and then it's Thanksgiving break. Like it's just boom, we're already there. It's going to go quickly. So because it goes so quickly, I try to get a jump on it, and that keeps me a little less stressed, but also lets me just kind of have a little fun with it. And my personal rule is I do what I do. So if I don't get all the ideas done, I just make a note of them. I put all the holiday stuff in a box and with my notes and everything and put it away until the next fall. That way we get done what we get done, because you know how us crafters are. We're always going to come up with more ideas than we have time.
I agree. You know, May, I have an idea today because since you're going to be showing off the ScanNCut, and I don't think Brother will mind. I haven't asked them yet, but we're going to ask them. I think because you're going to be working on the ScanNCut and they have such cool designs on the ScanNCut on Canvas Workspace, and a lot of people are also into embroidery, I think that as long as somebody makes a comment today, that they should win one free design from Embroidery today. What do you think about that?
Oh, that's a fun idea.
That's a fun idea. So during the show today, on any of the channels, Facebook, YouTube, if you just leave a comment at the end, we will draw one lucky winner. You will get an embroidery design of your choice. Thanks, brother. I'll send him a note about that. Actually, we've just been talking about all the cool designs in there. So Canvas Workspace, Embroidery, ScanNCut. There's so many fun things I know that the ornaments you work on lately, you've been doing some embroidery on that. I can't wait to see what you have for us today.
Yeah, we have all kinds of fun stuff. So if you're interested in doing like sewn ornaments or with felt and stuff like that, if you look back a couple months, we did a whole little felt show where we were doing cutting felt and putting vinyl on felt and doing all kinds of fun stuff with that. Turn those to Christmas and you've got ornaments. So we've got a lot of past shows that'll give you ideas as well if you need even more after today. Today, what we're really going to focus on, I picked up a couple different blanks at the craft store. So I have, you know, the traditional, you could fill it, clear ones that we always get suckered into thinking we're going to do something with. Well, we are going to do something with. And then I also found clear acrylic square, well, diamonds really, because of where the hole is. And then I also found ceramic ones. And craft store blanks, that is one of my favorite things to play with because we can do anything we want with all of these things. So we're going to get started, and I've got my ScanNCut all warmed up over here and ready to go.
I see it. Let me take that out just real quick. I'm just going to remove one thing here for you, May.
Oh, okay.
There you go. It's all you.
Okay, so just going to go in here And we have all kinds of different built-in patterns. Now, remember, and I have to fix my USB. This is the wrong USB, but you can, if you have a USB drive or even wirelessly transfer, if you have those Canvas Workspace designs or SVG files of your own, you can bring any of those in. I want to start by looking at my words because I always forget about all of the words that are in here that are so much fun. This is one of my personal favorites this time of year. It says believe. Now, what we're going to want to do, this one we're going to do on this. So I just need to measure, and I work on a mat that is also, well, I call it my ruler mat because it's a grid mat. And I do that on purpose because then I can always just set something down on my mat and we will know exactly what size it is. It makes my life a lot easier. So we're going to make this pretty small. And we're actually going to work in a batch here. That way we can do, let's see, I think 3.1 will work. Okay, so we've got our believe, and I've got my idea for that. And then for this one, and this one is like 3.5 inches, but it's also with these, you want to remember, because they're rounded, it measures like 3.25, but because it's rounded, it's actually going to be a little bigger. So that's always one to remember. So to add more, we can just add. And for today, I'm going to go ahead and just keep adding on in because, well, why not? Let's see if Disney has anything fun. Oh, you know what would be fun? What if we find a Frozen one?
Ooh.
Let's see. Frozen is always fun for Christmas time. So there's all, you can see all of the built-in designs. I think little Olaf would be fun here. Let's see. So he can't be that tall. We need him to be smaller. And actually, I need to double check. So he can be, I'm going to guess 3.5 inches high. And I think it should still work. But we'll make him 3.75. I think that'll work. All right. And this one is fun because it's actually only 2 colors. There's the brown and there's the white. So the white cuts and then the brown cuts. So we're going to pick both of them, but I'll do one here because I'm going to want to move that away. And then we'll add the other. And we have talked about this before with the layered designs, but with the layered designs, the way that they work, and we'll go zoom in here. So the way that they work, you actually can just leave it all alone so that when you cut it, you see how it's all organized really nicely? So it's going to cut exactly perfect. So we don't have to try to figure out what in the world are we doing or what exact position. It's already positioned for us, which I don't know about you, Angela, but I love that because it makes it so much easier.
I totally agree.
All right. And then our third one, this is a little teeny tiny guy, just a little bigger than 2 inches. I'm thinking for that guy, we're going to do a snowflake and we're going to do different designs on each one. So we're going to go back into pattern and I'm actually going to go into Frozen because I always forget this, but we actually have some snowflakes in here. And I'm going to see if we can get away with, let's see, did I say 2.5? I have to keep track of myself here. No, even smaller. Okay.
I was just thinking the same thing. I need to start writing this down.
I lose track of what designs there are because there are so many. So that's going to be really super teeny tiny and it should work. We're going to find out. Stay tuned. It should work, but we'll just play with it. And then this one I'm actually going to make 2 of because I've got several ideas going. So you can see how easy though here, oops, that's the size. You can see how easy with the ScanNCut it is to just add patterns in. I mean, I don't have to start any kind of computer program. I mean, I really don't have to do very much at all. I just have to pick my patterns. And then once I've picked my patterns, then I can get going. So I'm just uncovering a mat here. And either mat would work. I have a low tack mat right now. I am going to cut some vinyl. So I am going to do, let's see here. we should have all the stuff. Okay, so I am going to do some sparkly pink.
Oh, my favorite.
I like some sparkly pink. And I'm just going to cut, because I can look at my mat and just see that everything is less than 6 inches. Then I know that as long as I put the pieces down and they are 6 inches or less, you know, around, it should be good. And this is, I'm bringing out a lot of my scraps, especially this time of year. I am really big on getting my scraps out and use the scraps, because with all, especially when we're getting into little teeny tiny ornaments. And by the way, this is our first batch. If we have time, which hopefully we will, we've got even more to do. It looks like I forgot to get a white piece of vinyl, but that's okay because we're in the studio.
Oh, I see you're organizing drawers. By the way, if you missed last year's show about organizing, May gave great tips about organizing vinyl. And in January coming up, of course, that's our organizing month. May, now that you're in your studio, we're going to have to definitely do a January organizing again. For
oh,
craft.
definitely. And I think, I don't remember what we're doing next month. I know we have it all planned out, but yes, we'll definitely have to talk organizing. Okay, and then this guy.
Don't forget, everyone, I just went through Embroidery. I'm looking right now. If you leave a comment during the show, tell May how much. By the way, May, you're going to have to go back and read these comments. You are making people crafters that said they've never been crafters before, which is awesome. But also, a lot of people say they have the ScanNCut. They love the auto blade. But leave a comment. Tell us why you love the show and how much you love Brother. And you will be in the drawing right now at the end of the show for an Embroidery design. So don't forget.
So I'm using the 12 by 24 mat because that is the mat that I've been currently working on. I've been doing a lot of batch creating. We don't actually need that size of mat for today, but we're going to use it because that's what I've got out. And I'm a big fan of going ahead and using the mat that I've got. So to make sure everybody is in order, we're going to press OK. And one of the 3 ways we can use that scan in the ScanNCut is to scan the mat, scan the material. And this is really helpful because this is why I can use scraps so easily, and I don't have to sit there and count squares or hope I'm right.
That's always the thing.
Never want to rely on hope May's right. That's never a good idea. Too risky.
Hey, May, while that's scanning in, I know that you've talked a lot about vinyl in the past, but Anne on here she said she gets so confused about the vinyl. Could you just explain a little bit when you get a sec about the different vinyls that you're using?
Oh, absolutely. So what we're doing today, these are all similar. I mean, there's different finishes. So that one has kind of a sparkly finish. This one has a glossy finish. Some of them have matte finishes, but they are all sticker vinyl, meaning some people call it craft vinyl or sticker vinyl, meaning when we go to weed this, it's a sticker. So the vinyl material is a sticker, and you can apply it to anything that you could apply a sticker to. And that is different. We're going to go ahead and get this cutting, and then we'll keep talking. So we're going to select cut, and then half cut is on. To pick that, you would go in here and half cut is on. We want that because we want it to cut the vinyl and not the backing material. So while we start that, so I'll let that do its thing and cut. So that would be anything that you're using it like a sticker. And then the other main type of vinyl would be heat transfer vinyl, which that means you're going to be ironing it on or pressing it onto something, whether it's clothing or a tote bag. In fact, if we have time at the end, I've got a little gift bag I want to add vinyl to so I can put the gift I already have in there and seal it up and have it be done. But we're going to be heat transferring it onto there. And within heat transfer, I think I find a lot more variety in heat transfer because that's where you could have flocked, you could have glitter, you could have like extra stretchy thin, you could have, we've discovered there's like glow in the dark, there's so many different kinds of vinyl that is heat transfer. There's a whole bunch. And then but those ones, the difference is you're cutting out material that you're then going to heat onto something. So that's really the 2 types. Angela, would you say those are the 2 main types, especially with, is sticker vinyl the same as permanent? yes and no. So think of sticker vinyl as like the big category. And then within that category, there's going to be different types. There's going to be some that are removable, some that are permanent. So you're going to have to look individually at the specific sticker vinyl if it's one type or the other. Kind of like how there's sugar, right? And sugar is this, but there's brown sugar, there's powdered sugar, there's baking sugar, there's extra. So it's like that. So that sticker vinyl being the bigger group.
May, that was perfect. Now we're all going to be wanting cookies when we're finished. But yes.
Well, it's that season. I want cookies already. And no one's baking in this house yet, but man, I want my cookies.
That is a great way to think of it, though. And even the heat transfer vinyl, because you just mentioned all the different kinds. So there's general, and then in there's all the different kinds. You know what
So that's the general. Sticker is kind of the general, and heat transfer is the general. And then you get down into the specifics of what exact one are we talking about?
Yes. Definitely.
And it's going. I forget we've got our Olaf, so he's a little detailed. I am using the Auto Blade Marilyn, and that's the only blade that I ever have in there, at least so far, that I ever have in there, because it, as it says in the name, the Auto Blade, it'll cut deep, it'll cut thin, it'll cut whatever I need it to cut. And the machine does all that work in deciding how much pressure and how to cut.
Absolutely. Would a weeding box help here? I'm not sure. I mean, it's not while you're cutting. I mean, the cutting is the cutting.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
I'm going to bring this up real big, though. You guys can all see that it tells you how much time. See, it's cutting. It tells you how much time is left, so you can just sit there, enjoy your tea. Of course, I have my Santa cup out now. Like from now until January, this cup stays out.
I bet. I know mine was empty right before the show. I'm going to have to fill it up when we're done. Hot tea. It's just, there's something about hot tea and sitting here and sewing and crafting is just the best.
Absolutely.
I spend way more time in here in the fall and winter and early spring when it's cold. I don't know. There's something about like I want to be in here all cozy and doing my crafty things even more than when it's warm out and wanting to go outside.
Definitely.
Okay. So I'm kind of running, and I'll move this guy a little bit here. I'm just kind of running my fingers over the mat to make sure it feels correct. So it feels like it's been cut. And then while we're still here on the mat, I will lift this up on, and the reason I'm going to go ahead and lift this up is because if it cut correctly, ta-da, the weeded part would come right off. Now, normally, if we were not on a live show, would I have like cut this down and do some different things to save more vinyl? Absolutely. But I have so much white sticker vinyl right now. There's so much of it that I'm okay with a little tiny bit extra loss. So once I feel confident that everybody cut through, I remove the mat. And I point that out because if you didn't feel confident or if you weren't quite sure, you could recut. Yeah. So you could, and I see I've already got, it's the holiday season here. And so there's like stickers and stuff on my desk. I'm going to scoot us down just a little bit.
Oh, we can see great. I like your mat. Hey,
okay. And you can see how, let's see, this one I am going to trim because that one is just ridiculously, I know I've even got glitter scissors. I'm telling you.
That's perfect. Hey, Lily,
we are in it. We are in it. So you can see when we lift this off, we'll do the next one. You see how the backing material did not get cut. The backing material stays perfect.
Yes.
And that's because the half cut makes it so that the material on top, in this case, the vinyl, all gets cut. And then the material underneath, the transfer material, does not.
Perfect description. Liliana, I hope that helps you. I know you're asking what the half cut is, and May didn't even, she read your mind. That you're going to ask.
And I always show that because you could you do it the other way? I suppose. I just know that this makes it a whole lot easier to get the stuff done. And I'm using one of the Brother, this must be my newer one. It's not quite as dirty. I have two of these, and boy, they get a lot of use because these little pick tools, you can see with these little teeny tiny bits, it just helps them get right out.
Wow.
And you can see Oh, this is okay. We're on the Disney machine. That's why I was like, I thought I had to change my blade and forgot, but we're on the Disney machine and I just changed that blade. That's why. Like, what? We have such nice sharp cuts. Yep, we sure do. And as far as blade changing, I'll tell you, it doesn't happen very often, maybe once or twice a year for me, because it just doesn't, if it's not needed, I don't do it. So I wait until I'm cutting something. And if I'm going to cut an expensive material, I don't know about you, Angela, but if I'm not sure, you know, how is my blade, how are things, I'll run a test cut on an inexpensive material and make sure everything is cutting the way I want it to.
Definitely. Definitely.
Or a scrap, you know, like something like this where, okay, well, I have a scrap. So let's put the scrap through and cut that and make sure first. All right. So Olaf is ready.
So May, you've turned me into a major crafter as well.
Yay.
And I absolutely can't stand throwing out any itsy bitsy piece of vinyl because I could use it for something. So I cut out the Mickey Mouses recently. There was Mickey and Minnie, and I took the outer shape that came off. I was very careful when I took it off, and I wrapped that around a mug. And so it was the inner, so I was able to use the actual design that we cut. And then I use the outer design as just the outer image on the mug.
Oh,
so
I love it.
And 2 minutes.
That's fantastic.
You're so inspiring.
Oh, I love hearing it. I love seeing people craft and create. It's just fun. And there's so many different ways we can do it. And I love that no matter what kind of mood I'm feeling in, I love how my ScanNCut helps me get the hard part, right? The hard part, the designs and the things that I would not want to have to do by hand. It gets all that done so that I could do all the fun part.
Absolutely.
Right. So let's see here. This one, and now we need, all right, so with the sticker vinyl, could we lift this up like a sticker and put it on here? Technically we can, but you really don't want to. And the reason you don't want to is because this is such fine detail that we're working with, to lift that off and get it be just so and not have it like wrinkle or fall down on itself or do something else unpleasant, it would be very difficult. So if you utilize transfer material, which you can use and reuse over and over again until it loses its stick, and I'm just using the back side of my little pick tool here, get everybody transferred on. If you use the transfer material, all this does is lift your sticker off the backing sheet and let you set it down all at once, just so. Okay, and I see I missed a teeny tiny spot, but guess what? We can weed on the transfer sheet. All right, now this is going to be fun because
it fits perfect. Oh my goodness.
I've maybe made a few ornaments, I'll have to say. I've maybe made a few ornaments over here and having just a little bit of fun with it all. I'm thinking, just looking around to see if I still had any that are sitting in here, but they're not in here right now. From last year. None of them are out yet. So you could add little things if you wanted to add little sequins or little buttons. If you wanted to add little doodads, change your ribbon, you certainly could. This would be fun too if on the back you wanted to use the ScanNCut to write like a name or a year or something else. What I am going to do though might surprise everybody. So this has just happened to be a scrap of vinyl that we had and we used, and I was already cutting Believe out of it for our Olaf ornament. For this one, what we're going to do is cover it up with paint and make it go away.
What?
Yep.
Okay.
So this is something, and this paint better come out. If this paint won't come out, then we're going to have to get another paint. Let's see. Where are you, paint? My goodness.
All I'm thinking is, May, what are you doing? It's so cute.
It is, and we could leave it like that. Took the cap off. Let's see if we can get this paint out. That's always the way. It's a cold morning, so the paint is like, no, it's cold. I want to stay inside. There we go. Okay.
I think everybody's doing exactly what I'm doing. What are you doing, May?
So yes, we can leave it alone. And yes, that would be lovely. And I've done ornaments like that in the past. And I'm going to go ahead and actually cut this white ribbon off because I have other thoughts for that anyway. And I can reuse that white ribbon on something else. What we're going to do, I know, just when you thought it was just regular old vinyl, nope, we're doing other stuff.
Oh, but now we're to the mega creative area. Mega creative. I can't wait to see what happens here.
So we're going to do that. And I just have to move my wet paintbrush away from me so that I do not touch it. Because we know I will.
I see one spot of paint on your cutting board, by the way.
Oh, okay. We'll
just
get it.
One bitsy one.
We'll get it. I just have to grab the white. The white paint will not get us trouble because the white paint is the big, big tube.
I get the best job here. I'm reading everybody's comments while you're...
Oh, how funny. Oh, yeah, we got one little spot. It's okay, though. Oh, we got on my fingers, but that's okay, too. I can... And then I'm going to tap some white in here. Now, the hardest part is we're going to have to let this dry. That's the hardest part. Now, we can do all kinds of other stuff. We can... I mean, you really can. You can do a lot of stuff here. You can paint designs. You could layer stuff. I'm going to put, this is just like some gold watercolor.
Oh my gosh, this is so much fun.
So here's what we're going to do. Actually, we can let it dry or not. I kind of don't want to let it dry because I want to see what it did. Let me just get the paint off my finger so that I don't make a bigger mess and problem. And yes, we have wipes, wet wipes and paper towels and all of that right here in the studio. You have to. in my room, you have to because things get wild. Oh, and now I'm going to be all festive with my red painted fingernail. That'll be fun.
Perfect.
I know. I always say if someone ever comments on a video, you've got paint on your finger. Well, of course I do. Doing all kinds of stuff in here. Paint gets around. Okay. I just am making sure that we don't have wet paint on the table just so that when we get to doing our other ornaments, which are all different, by the way, but just so that we don't get that on them. Now what we do is we find the edge very carefully here. There it is. So you find an edge.
Bernadine says, now the magic begins.
Right. So now it gets real cool. And you might have to do this a couple times, just the way this goes. And you cannot be in a rush. Let's see. Looks like this.
Marty said she had you at Believe. What are you doing?
So this now, we just have to keep finding those bits. There it is. And if for any reason, if you get your paint on the white part, don't stress about it because once everything is all dry, this is why I said normally I would let it totally dry because then you can't smear the paint. But don't worry about mine because I can fix it all up. I've done this thing just a few times before. But you can see the vinyl wants to keep breaking just because I'm asking a lot of it. It's like, what are you doing, lady? You stuck me down here. Now the sticker vinyl, this is something where this project, I will do this with when I have sticker vinyl that is leftover bits. Because then all I'm really doing is getting leftover bits of vinyl used up, which is helpful always. And what I'm also getting to show you guys is why I said at home, if you do this, let the paint dry because it'll make it easier on you when you go to do this part. It'll make it easier to not have any paint smears because I'm essentially trying to remove vinyl while the paint's wet, which is doable, but it's not as clean. And there we are.
That was so
Isn't that cool?
Oh my God.
And then if we have any spots, like I kept touching right there. That's where we can go like so. And then with any spots that are kind of smudgy in the middle, we can do a couple of things. I can get a water brush here, and I can try to, while the paint is wet, I can try to just kind of remove it.
Hey, May, what kind of paint are you using, by the way?
Just plain acrylic paint. There's no special brand, no special anything, just regular acrylic paint that you can get anywhere, any craft store. I think you can even get it at hardware stores and stuff too. So, yep, just the regular stuff. And then what I will do after is I can just come in here with a really tiny brush or a little Q-tip or something and just kind of clean that up. And if it's still not perfectly clean, all I have to do is I can get out actually this little scraper tool and try to scrape any paint that's not off. And if that still doesn't work, I can get a tiny paintbrush and come in here and touch it up with white paint. But once this is dry, the edges we can get all nice and cute. We can do whatever other decorating we want, but isn't that a fun thing where we're masking with the vinyl? Isn't that fun?
I absolutely love that. I did not see that's where you were going with this. And I was thinking, oh my, everybody's saying they absolutely love this. So by the way, I mean, we're on a live show, but if you were doing this, you know, maybe at home, you could let the paint dry.
I would recommend letting the paint dry.
Right.
Only reason I didn't is it is a very dark and rainy day and the paint is going to take a couple hours to dry here. So I did not wait. So yes, yours shouldn't be messy because if you just let that paint dry, it'll be much easier. But even with the wet paint, you can see how nice it turned out, even with the wet paint.
It turned out awesome. Actually, cool? Peg says it looks like typewriter letters. That I so agree with that. Is that a wood ornament? Somebody, Stephanie popped in late. Was that wood or was
this
that
is ceramic? You can do this on wood. You could do this on, actually wood works really well, but this is a ceramic ornament and I'd never seen blank ceramic ornaments. So I thought I would try it and give it a go, but it's just kind of a matte finish. But isn't that fun?
That's
yeah.
So
and I love that everybody can see what I'm talking about, yeah, we have some errors, but it'll be fine. It'll be fine. And also this is why you want to let it wait. Okay. But we've got more. We've got more to do. So I always get the wet paint stuff away before we start anything else, because I notoriously put whatever I'm touching goes right in the wet paint if it's close. So that's my other tip to you is if you're getting messy stuff, do the messy stuff and get the messy stuff all the way away.
Get it out of the way.
Okay, now this one's not going to be as shocking. That was the most shocking one. And originally I was going to do that one first and come back to it at the end of our show. However, I'm just looking at the weather and how humid it is. And I know that paint is not going to dry fast enough. So I couldn't wait. You had to see that one. Because isn't that fun? And you can do that in different sizes too. So like I have done home decor signs with that technique and gone really big. You can go really small. And the other thing for ornaments is we can use ideas. Okay, so let me make sure, what have I got here? So Olaf's going to kind of go sideways on this because he's kind of big. And that was intentional because this ornament is rounded. So I want to carefully, because you can see how this is puckering up. The thing about this Olaf design is because it's lots of different little pieces, it's actually to our advantage on a rounded ornament like this because we can press one little piece at a time. So we can get and lift and then work on the next little piece. It still stays where it needs to stay, but this way we're not trying to press. And I'll show you after I get this guy transferred, I'll show you what I mean, but it can get kind of tricky to press one large design onto a rounded surface. If anybody out there has ever tried, you know what I'm talking about. And I'll show you as soon as I lift this guy off. Oh yeah, very lovely. Okay, so Olaf is here. Now there's a little spot here where it's kind of lifted up. Just press down and it'll work itself out. Okay, so this is a great design because it's all those little pieces. What happens when you're on the rounded, when it's not very at the top, it's fine, but you see how the crinkles are happening?
Right.
So it's very difficult to do a large design on a rounded surface. It's more difficult. So I picked Olaf for this because it's all teeny tiny pieces. It is a big design, but it's all tiny pieces. So it's going to go on very easily because we're just really trying to press one little spot at a time.
Well, that makes sense. Because I was thinking, as you're saying, a small design works better. I'm thinking, I don't think that's what we picked. But it makes sense because it's all in little pieces.
Right. And I always point that out because this Olaf, I use this Olaf a lot at the holidays because he's just so cute. He's just so darn cute. But it also helps a lot to remember about. Okay, so what I'm doing with this, you can see I've got my finger back here. I'm preventing the other pieces from transferring ahead. And the reason I'm doing that is because when we're doing the top layer, we do want to make sure it's nice and centered, or centered adjacent, I suppose. We're not going to get too super picky. But you know what? All of these ornaments, I started to say, all of these ornament designs would make fantastic gift tags or cards as well. So if you're thinking, well, I don't want to gift ornaments, but I do need tags or I do need cards, all of these designs would make fantastic. Look how cute it is.
That's really
cute. And you can see how by doing the one piece at a time, it's just kind of making my life easier as far as making sure he's where he should be and he's centered and everything. And it really is that easy. Look.
Oh, I love that.
Isn't it fun? So then what we get to do, let me turn around and see here in the magical drawers of all the fun stuff back here.
Like, where's I spy? Oh, what's that? Glitter?
So these are from my stash of just all of years and years of collecting of different like glitter and sequins and like little pearls and just all kinds of stuff. So now I'm going to use the transfer, not the transfer material, but the backing sheet. And I'm going to make myself a little funnel because I am always resourceful with my crafty stuff. And we are going to pour, and we might add some blue here, but for right now, I think there's little snowflakes in here. There's all kinds of stuff in here. But we're going to pour some of that in. And then all I have to do is kind of adjust the funnel here to let it in. And you know what? This is a great family craft too. If you're wanting something where, you know, you can use your ScanNCut and your crafting skills to get things set. And then people, your friends or your kids or whoever can fill up the ornaments or help. This is a great one. And I let it all fall in.
I'm dying laughing because last year after you did something similar to this, it wasn't exactly the same, but I brought the whole table out. Well, I brought a table out and I brought all of the crafting projects out and I had glitter on me and all over me for weeks. I'm not
so most of this is sequins, which is a little kinder than glitter. It's a little kinder than glitter. Most of this is sequins or a little bigger. So it doesn't, I see I have a little bit of glitter in here, but I tend to do that because then what ends up happening is, I'm going to give this guy a shake here. And you could use all kinds of different stuff. So you could get like they have like the fun, like fluffy snow stuff at the craft store. I mean, there's all kinds of things that you could put in here.
I think that's what I used because it was not as concise as what you have. I love the colors of that, how it's really distinct. And, and it doesn't look
fun.
weird.
He needs a little more though. We got to get him nice and full. We're gonna end this particular one. Oh my gosh, you can see how much glitter is in this one. This particular drawer somehow got a bunch of white glitter. So I'm happy to see that. Let's end that reign of terror. Let's get that glitter in this ornament.
This is probably where we should have a disclaimer. If you have a cat, keep them away. Number 2, if you have the sniffles, do not sneeze during this session right now.
But and then I always kind of just shake it up to see like, how is it looking? Do I like it? Isn't that fun though?
Oh my gosh, is that cute?
Isn't that fun? And then all you got to do is put your top back on. Well, let's see if I can do that part. That's maybe the hardest part, right? Get those ornament tops. Once they come off, they don't want to go back. Oh, look. And then, then we got Olaf all full.
Oh
And
my.
you could, if you wanted to, you could get out your hot glue gun and you could put like some little doodads out in here. Or I've been experimenting with wire and beads and making my own ornament hangers, which I'll be honest, it's not going well yet, but I feel like I'm close. I feel like I'm close. I'm not giving up yet, but I think that's getting pretty close to a breakthrough. Fun. I love that guy. So much fun.
Oh my gosh, is that cute? So now that's 2 ornaments, and this is still during a live show. We haven't even finished an hour yet. You could really sit down and one afternoon knock out your whole.
You can, and I'm betting that our viewers here, they're seeing why I go ahead, and if I know I've got a certain number of ornaments or a certain number of things, I go ahead and I cut all the pieces out. If we had gone through and individually cut the pieces for each design, we wouldn't be, we're at 9:40. We're going to get 4 ornaments done within the hour. And, you know, if depending on how you're crafting and what you're making, you could easily do even more. If you're sticking to one type, you could even do more if you're just keeping it simple.
Oh,
we're
not going to keep it simple. We're going to follow everything you're doing because this is great. I see some of you rolled in late. You said you're going to watch this over. Don't forget, if you're on Facebook, share it to your page. It makes it much easier to find the rerun. And if you're on YouTube, you can share it. You can watch it later. There's little things you can click on the video there as well, or go back to Brother Sews.
But you can see how easy, I always point out the tool. If I didn't have this tool, this would take 3 times longer. If you're not using a weeding tool, it would take so much longer because, you know, we have to get all these little bits out of here. We have to make them pop off. And as you can see, this snowflake has a bunch. And with this kind of a design, I just kind of try to get them off to the side and then I deal with it. I don't worry too much about getting it all the way out of there perfectly, you know, absolutely lifting up perfectly. Sometimes I just kind of scoot them out. So we just need to get them out of there. But even that, you saw how quick that was. Didn't take long at all. All right, now this is the hard one. So this little guy, these little guys, they hide because look at that. You can't see that. They hide from me. So these have been the most challenging. And what I'm liking about these little ornaments that I'm doing is they could also double as gift tags. So this is a great one where you could have this be a gift tag that they can then turn into an ornament on their tree. All right. And I'd like to thank all of the vinyl and the ScanNCut and the technology for making me look good today. Some days they conspire against me, but today everybody seems to be showing up and doing their jobs, which is super nice. There we go. So we can leave it like that, or I'm kind of thinking, let's see.
Boy, that's cute.
Around here, I'm thinking maybe something fun, like a little, like I think I could put a little snowflake button within the button.
Oh, yeah.
A little snowflake button within the button. This guy just needs the shank trimmed off. Or maybe if I had something in a color, maybe I could put some little, I don't know, put some little jewels or something on here in the middle. Add little rhinestones. I think add little rhinestones would be really pretty. You could do something along the edges. If you had a gold leaf pen or those like metallic pens that are permanent, you could edge that.
Oh, yeah.
That would be really fun. I mean, our possibilities there are pretty wide, honestly. And if you guys are watching, I will do pictures and post pictures onto my social media of all of these guys. I'll do a carousel post of all the ornaments that we've made once they're all final with their ribbons and everything. But we've still got time, so we've got one more because we had that. And this time we're going to let the pink sparkle stay. This time we're not going to remove the pink sparkle.
So another one. You know, I was just even thinking on that little the one you just did with the snowflake. If if the clear piece was just a little bigger, or if you made a whole bunch of those, you can actually with the ScanNCut put the person's name too. I mean, you could also write it with a bubbly paint or something like that, but I would have every name in there, have it all cut. I might
yeah. Well, even on the backside, you could do that on the backside.
Oh, yeah. That's a good idea.
Ornaments. Yeah, ornaments. If there's a backside to be had, there you go. Okay. And this one, let's see. Okay, so this one we'll do. I'm just looking around because I had all my ornaments, but they've disappeared. They're hiding from me. No way. How did we manage that? That's pretty impressive. We've got all the ornaments to hide. Oh, there they are. There they are. So this time we're going to let this stay. Just get that in there. Yeah, this Believe cut file is one of my favorites because it's such a lovely file. And I've put this on t-shirts or sweatshirts. I mean, I have done all kinds of stuff with it over the years on a stocking. There's an awful lot that we can do. There we go. So then this time what we can do is if we want to add a little bit of, and I'm going to leave that, but if we wanted to add, and I'll go ahead since we've got a couple minutes left. I'm just going to use an adhesive that will stick here. And then Angela, you can let me know if we have any last minute questions, but I'll just add a couple of buttons on here while we finish out our time. I can't believe that went fast.
Yeah, but you just finished 4 ornaments. That's crazy.
Oh, that's, you know what? That's how I feel like that's how it starts to go this time of year around here is I get in the zone and it gets going pretty quickly.
So as I've looked for questions, I just want to let you know, by the way, May, I sent an email to Brother to say, hey, can we give away an embroidery design at the end of the show? And they are confirming it for me. Of course, I cannot give away the licensed designs, but I will bring that website up. I will let you know shortly, but if you have made a comment during the show at any point from beginning to end, you are entered into this giveaway. I have this great little program that will just scramble everybody and randomly pick someone. So I'm keeping you up to date on that. So May, you have a couple minutes until I get the final okay. Nothing like throwing something in at the last minute.
I love it. I love it. And yeah, I've got I've just got my little sequins and things here. So now I can just pull them out and just add. So that really we're just adding some color. And this is a great way too, if you've got some leftovers or little bits and pieces that you don't quite know what to do with. This is a great way to get them out and get them used, get something done. I know having leftovers or having stuff in my stash, it's not quite the same as when I have that Thanksgiving turkey leftover. That's a whole different, I'm happy to have that, but I like to try to use up my crafty leftovers and not have them just kind of sitting around, not doing anything.
You are cracking me up. You should not bring up the T word. My husband and I were just talking about this. I'm not the best cook, but last year I did a really good job, but I made a very small turkey. And last year was, of course, during COVID. So it was my husband and I by ourselves pretty much, but it was a lot of fun. But I would have to say, hi. I would have to say that it wasn't my favorite. And the leftovers, by the time the next week was over, was gone.
You were, okay. Yeah, you were over the leftovers by the time you got through them. I could see that.
Over the leftovers. I love deliveries, more deliveries. I feel like, what the heck is going on over here? And
it's Christmas.
Yes, but I know some of you that were watching the show with me last Thursday know I had a little bit of a faux pas with the delivery guy. I was hemming my shirt, May, when he walked in.
Uh-oh.
Yep, we'll just leave it at that. And he came back today and I said, I'm not hemming my shirt today. He said, don't worry, I'm not even looking.
He's learned his lesson.
He's like this. Here are your boxes. What's going on in the crafting room today? Oh, May, that's beautiful.
Isn't that fun? And you see, and we, depending on what kind of crafting you want to do, or depending on what supplies you have on hand, you can make all kinds of different fun things. And you can even keep using the same cut file, but have things turn out totally differently. And I mentioned before, we don't have enough time to get into this. That shouldn't surprise me, but you can use, we talked about how this is all sticker vinyl. You could go over to the heat vinyl world and be doing it on things like gift bags or banners or even t-shirts or sweatshirts or things like that.
Oh my gosh, that's cute. Everybody's staring at, I'm staring at all of these. Those 2 ornaments, well, all of them actually, but the 2 believes, it's amazing how that started the same and how different they look now. But you know what they look like? They look like you just spent 10 or 15 or $20 at the store on those. That's what they look like.
Yep, and they weren't. The bases were like, I don't know, 25 cents, 50 cents a piece, and then scraps and leftovers from my craft stuff, which is something I love to do, especially this time of year. If I can use up what I've got, that's even better. That makes even more room for January craft shopping, right?
There you go. I love this. Let me see. Do any of you have any questions for May? I saw a few of them roll through, but I think the brother team answered them. This came up quite a few times. The transfer paper that you're using, May, how many times someone said, I didn't know you could even use that over. And yes, you can. So do you have any general guide for them?
So it does. I think it depends on what you're doing. So the sheet we used today got touched by glitter. It did pick up some glitter. So what I'm probably honestly going to do with this scrap of it is use it to get any remaining glitter off the table. And it's going to be done. But it comes in a roll. And what I try to do is cut the minimum size that I need for the projects I'm working on. And then we can use and reuse this as long as it stays sticky, which I really find it depends on what am I transferring and what am I transferring it onto, and how careful am I being? You know, if we're chatting on a live show and we're doing this, that, and the other thing, I'm not being super careful. But if I'm doing something where everything's super clean and there's not anything to like get stuck on it, and I'm not using, for example, when we did Olaf, I had to keep touching it with my fingers on the underside, and that's going to take some of the stick away. So you can reuse it. I would say probably 10 times is about the most I've gotten out of one. But usually at least 6 times is pretty normal for me to be able to use and reuse.
There you go. And I saw quite a few people asking that. Let me see if there's any other last minute questions that came up. Everybody's just saying they love this.
I'm glad. I've been looking forward to this month for months, actually, because we decided ornaments quite a while ago. And it's one of my favorite things to do with the ScanNCut because we have so many options and there's so many ways to either, like with Olaf, very minimally, you know, work-wise, there's not much I need to do. But then with other ones, there can be lots of creating.
Absolutely. Did you clean those ornaments with anything or just started from scratch?
No, I just started. I think it would depend on the ornaments and when you get them from, when you purchase them, take a look at them and all that and make sure if there's anything you felt like you needed to do.
Perfect. And someone's asking, did you get those designs? Were they built in the machine or did you get them from Canvas Workspace or where'd you get them from?
These were all in the machine. And today we use the SDX 230D. We'll pull, it's like, oh, well, let's see. If I scoot this can come back into the shot a little bit. There it is. So we use that ScanNCut and these are all built into it. I can tell you that the Believe design is also in the ScanNCut DX, the dealer model. I can't think of its number right now. And of course, it's not sitting right here where it's supposed to be. So I can't read it off the top. But I know that this Believe is in at least one other model. It's one of my favorite, these cursives. But if you don't have this cut file, you could use your own SVG files. You could use the font converter tool. Do you ever use that, Angela, on the computer?
No.
So Brother has a tool free that you can use, and it takes you, so you could type in a word or whatever you want in any font that you want on your computer and hit save, and it saves it as a ScanNCut cut file. And then you come over to the ScanNCut and open it up, and there's your letters or your word, and you can then just cut. So you can do it that way, and that saves so much time versus the old way I used to have to do it was to print it off the computer and then come and scan it and save it and do that. And that works too. It's just much more precise to use that tool so that it's digital and it's doing everything just so.
Is that on Canvas Workspace then?
So it's a separate application, but I want to say, and I'm sure if the Brother team doesn't have the link, I'm sure they'll add a link there for everybody. Yeah. But it's, you put it on the computer, and in fact, I bet I can, let's see, can I see it from here? It's always on my desktop. It's called the ScanNCut Type Converter.
Oh, okay. Did you guys get
ScanNCut
that?
Type Converter, and I think it is the most underrated tool because you can just use it to take your fonts, turn them into ScanNCut files, and get to work.
Let me just put, so that's the ScanNCut
Type Converter.
Type Converter. OR or ER?
That's a good question. I think it's ER, but let me double check. ER.
Let's see if I could spell.
Yeah, but that's a really fun one. Now, obviously the only catch is you have to, anytime you want a different word, you're going to have to go use it, type in the word you want, and create a new cut file. It's not converting fonts into cut files. It's converting whatever word you typed into cut files.
That's awesome. I just brought this up. We'll bring those in the comments later. I'll have the Brother Social team do that for us. I'm still waiting for an answer, but I want to bring up something while we're talking about creative things with ornaments. You've already shown us some embroidery in the past, and I see a few more questions rolling in, but let me just share this screen if you've got just a couple more seconds. Let me bring this up so you can see what we were talking about with iBroidery. We've got Canvas Workspace and iBroidery, two different websites that will really help your creativity with all your Brother products. So this is just iBroidery. I'll bring it up on the screen so you can see it if you can't. I know some people are new to this, to our show. Let's see, I have that somewhere. Where is it? It's like, should be saved right there. There you go, iBroidery.com. I'm going to take this out so I don't cut your head off, May. But if you go here, now, by the way, I will be drawing for one lucky person if you've left a comment during the show. But to be clear, I'm waiting for Brother to get their full approval, but it cannot be a licensed design. That's a whole different deal. But I want to show you, for those of you looking for extra designs, by the way, this is not free, but if you go to iBroidery.com, look at these. They've got the Disney, Marvel, Star Wars. There are so many different things on here. So while you're putting together some of your things for gifts, you want to stop by this website. Do you ever get designs off of here, May?
Oh, yeah. In fact, no, it's not in here. Or it is in here. No, darn it, it's not in here. I was going to say, I've made jewelry out of iBroidery designs. I've made patches for cardigans. I've done all kinds of stuff with those.
Oh my gosh, there are so many fun things. And I like to bring this up because I know a lot of people, especially when they're on the ScanNCut, and I know that we have a lot of new people here that just started embroidering, and they might only have a 4x4, 5x7 hoop. And sometimes our shows always focus on the luminaire or the bigger, the better. That's not always, there are a ton of designs here that you might enjoy. So I want you to remember this website. You can go through here. There's a ton of new stuff. I'm getting approval right now for which design you can win, but it cannot be a licensed design. So what I'll end up doing is drawing a winner. I wanted to show you something on here, though. I saw a section here of, since we're talking about the holidays, let's see if I could find, there was a whole section here on holidays. There are so many designs. You could actually scroll through this for quite a long time.
Oh, you could be in there for hours and you'll never see them all.
And there's the free design of the month. Joanne always talks about this, the Happy Thanksgiving. Check that one out. Now that's free for anybody. All you have to do is go there. That's really cute with the pumpkins. Oh my goodness. Looks like it is 3.6 inches wide and 6.9 inches tall. If you look on here, it tells you all of those, the color count, what machines it'll work on in case you're wondering, and all those color changes. Let's see what this looks like. Now that's free for anybody if you go to iBroidery.com. I always forget that there's always a free one each month. I shouldn't forget, but I do. Let's see if it'll come up. Well, while we're waiting for it to come up, I know there's a few more questions. I'll go back here and find the section to show you which design we're going to draw. And I'm going to let you press the lucky button, May. But in the meantime, let's see if there's any last few questions about what you are working on here. We're talking about things for the holidays. Do you need to have a brother to use iBroidery designs? Lorraine, these are PE designs. So yes, they would be for a brother machine. Have you worked on anything lately, May? And we talked about this last time, that on Canvas Workspace, for those that haven't been there, that's free with the ScanNCut. And I know you've worked a lot, taken a lot of projects off of there as well.
I do. So they have all kinds of, there's different things. If you don't have one of the ScanNCut machines that is Disney licensed, there are Disney licensed files that you can purchase, and that's where you would access them. There's also non-Disney purchased files, bundles, things that you can purchase through your brother dealer and put via Canvas Workspace. But then every month there's brand new free projects. And the neat thing about those is, like, I just made a project where I pulled a bunch of leaves from a really cool tropical project, but I wasn't making their project. I was making something else. But you can pull those designs off of Canvas Workspace, use them on any of the ScanNCut DX models, and make your own fun, or make the project as they showed it, which is always a super fun option too.
Very much so. For some reason, my computer, because we're live, I don't want to knock, here it comes. I'll bring this up. For those of you that have never been to this website, I'm just going to drop it in the comments here for you. And I know I like to bring this up because of the fact that, especially at the holidays, I know a lot of people are saying that, hey, ScanNCut's on my list for the holidays. It's on what I want. So I wanted to point these out because we're kind of getting into that season of what do we want to. So let me share this just so those of you that have never been here. And then we'll do our giveaway. So this is Canvas Workspace. As you can see, it works on a lot of ScanNCuts, not just the newest one, not just the older ones. But when you go on here, you register, you can log in. There are designs. You can download the software and use it right on your computer. Which one do you use, May? Do you use it on the computer or do you download it?
I don't. I use the web. I use the web. And I think it's mostly because that's what I've always used. And the types of things that I do are all right there on the web, as well as all my designs that I've gotten over the years that are still stored on there and all of that kind of stuff.
Yeah. So there's a lot of stuff on here. So once you register, you go in there. I'm not going to log in because you'll see my password and you'll see all my designs, but very cool. Very cool. All right. So let's go back to iBroidery and let's draw one lucky winner. So this new magic little tool I'm using brings in comments from all the both Facebook, Crafting and Sewing side, and YouTube, both sides, and it just will randomly pick a winner. So much fun. This is way too much fun, May. I'm making sure that there aren't any last minute questions for you. I did, by the way, put your website up below if you all look. We've got our Instagrams above, our websites down below. May, you have a great YouTube channel. So for those of you looking for more stuff on the ScanNCut, you want to check out her YouTube channel. Have anything new coming up or just anything you just posted?
Oh my gosh. Yes. So you guys any of you that liked our ornaments and all of that, I've got a whole bunch of holiday stuff coming starting this week and just all month long. There's going to be so many tutorials, and you can find the YouTube link from Instagram or from my website. There's links to YouTube, and that's where most of it will be going on. But I always say follow on Instagram because everything behind the scenes peaks or all of that kind of stuff is all going on there. And it goes on Facebook as well. If you guys are on Facebook, I know, Angela, I know your page, you can do all kinds of live fun stuff on your Facebook.
Absolutely. Like to get the creative juices going. You know what I'm working on right now, May, is working with velvet. So last week we cut a velvet top. Tomorrow we're going to be sewing a velvet top. I'm going to be using the Move It foot and some fun things like that. I actually, May, my goal is to make 4 velvet tops. You made 4 ornaments in an hour. It might take me a little longer, but that's my goal.
Fun.
All right. So let's bring this up here. Here you go. This is iBroidery, a different angle of it. You can see when you click on all the designs, there are a ton of things. I was actually thinking something in the alphabet would be a great giveaway for that.
Oh, yeah.
But anyways, I had to get full approval from Brother, but I do have approval from them to draw a winner. They will help choose the design because it cannot be a licensed design. But I have kind of narrowed it down to the Happy Holidays here since that's what we're working on. And when you click on that, there are 241 designs. So whatever design we decide to choose out of here, as long as it's not licensed, it should be fine. But we will double check on that. You know me, I'm always getting myself in trouble. So let's ring the bell. Come on. Good luck. Let me find my little software thing. Boy, a lot of people are on here today. Holy cow. Well, good luck, everyone. May, you want to hit the lucky button?
Okay.
All right. It is scrolling through all the winners. I cannot bring this up because it has a different brand on it besides Brother, but it's Joanne, I see you're in. Joanne, you cannot win, by the way. That won't work. All right. The winner is Kim Stambaugh. Kim Stambaugh. If you send a private message, I will can let you know which design, because I did throw this together at the end. It just cannot be a licensed design. But Kim Stambaugh, if you have an embroidery machine, you will love what we have for you. So congratulations, and thank you all for watching. May, that was so much fun. So,
I've had a blast, as always.
oh my gosh. So how many more, let me bring this out. How many more ornaments are you going to finish today now that you have everything out? Or do you have to go back to do something else?
You know what? I'm probably going to switch over to heat transfer just because now I want to get some gift bags made and stuff like that. So I go back and forth usually. I'll make one batch. But since everything is kind of dry now and set, I'll probably move on and come circle back. I just kind of let where the mood goes.
That sounds perfect. I think I'm in the mood, and I'm going to go pull out my ornaments and see if I can make less of a mess. You made it look so much more glamorous, May.
Oh, don't worry. I'll make sure on my stories to show the aftermath of what it really looks like in here.
That's perfect. So everyone, be sure to share what you're working on. Tag us on Instagram, Facebook. We love to see what you're working on. Be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channels. That's how we keep in touch. And Brother, thank you for letting your ambassadors take over your page. Thank you for letting me give a design away. And I will make sure that I get a little more clarification on that next time. So, all right, everyone. You never know. I might just throw something in. So sorry about that. All right, everyone. Have a great day. And just so you know, the show is scheduled this afternoon. Cindy Hogan will be on for her usual software. Tomorrow, 1:30, I will be sewing velvet. And Thursday at noon, I think it's Brenda and Jane making a super cute quilted towel cover for your oven. This is good, the cutest project you've ever seen. So we have a really fun week for you. All right. Have a great day. Bye, May.